Back here, another edition of the Down and Back of CornDoug for a Friday here. This week's show, you've heard about him on other shows. They talk about him. I have him on this show. We've got from the Doghouse Cornhole. We've got Pat McCracken here. So we're going to be talking to him just in a couple minutes here. But we'll go over the weekend here, this past weekend. Delaware, we didn't have Bobby Speary, didn't have the weekend that we wanted to have with Octane, but still had a good showing. But former guest Jordan Kamba and his partner James Baldwin took home the doubles, and then singles was partner of a former guest, Leston Allen, took home the singles. So great job for him. I believe that was his first singles title. So good for him on that in the pro qualifier. So that's another 3 more guys that will qualify for the big show in I guess Philadelphia, July 4th weekend. But yeah, so that's there. Here we're now up to 10 people can get together. So hopefully our light's getting a bit bigger at the end of the tunnel that we can start playing some more and getting some more stuff here in KW that we can talk about that then. But up until then, we're still here just talking about it. So without wasting any more time, we'll bring in the man himself, Mr. Pat McCracken. Pat, how you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
How's not going? Too bad. We've met a couple times here in Donnie McPhee's Zoom chats, and I will have to say that you will not be muted during this time.
Excellent. I appreciate that very much. Donnie has a little bit of a god complex with that mute button. I find that all right. I can see this is all new to me. I usually don't hold my phone while I'm talking. Usually it's on my laptop, but there we go. Where is that coming from? Where? All right. I'm going to flip over. Is that going to mess things up?
No, that's good. You're still good. You're still good.
There we go. Now we're good. Now we're cooking.
Yeah. Donnie likes to control his Zoom chat.
Let's shoot. What do we got? What's on the agenda?
So everyone has heard about you from the Doghouse Cornhole podcast when they talk about you. But how'd you get your start? What's your background?
So the funny thing is about cornhole is I played it on my honeymoon with my wife, and that was 9 years ago. And this is a crazy story. There was a tournament. I never heard anything about cornhole. We went ahead and we signed up for this tournament. I like anything competition wise, so we signed up for it, and we came in second. But they gave us a first place trophy because they said they've never seen a championship game be played so well. So they gave us a first place trophy. And what's crazy is it took me about 7 years later before I even played it again. So I got introduced at 9 years ago. I could have been like a Lowry or a Richie Queen. Those are some local guys near me that are legends. And but I didn't play it. I don't know why I never seek getting boards, but then all of a sudden my brother-in-law from Vermont had a set of boards, brought them to Sebago Lake in Maine. We started playing up there. I got pretty good at it. Didn't know how good I was. And so I wanted to test the waters. So I walked in. My brother said, "Hey, you're pretty good at this game. You know Brendan Ahern?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know Brendan. We went to high school together." And he goes, he travels up and down the East Coast, and he takes these pictures and plays cornhole all up and down the East Coast. I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah, something like Doghouse or something like that." I'm like, "All right." So I've never done Facebook. I don't do, like, as a teacher, I try to stay off of Facebook because it can only get you into trouble.
Yep.
So he's like, "You got to go on Facebook and look up the Doghouse." So I looked it up, and I'm looking at all the pictures. And now CornDoug, mind you, I know nothing about cornhole at this point, and I'm thinking Doghouse. What is Doghouse? I'm seeing pictures from like the Kowloon. There's a local restaurant. I'm like, why is the Doghouse Kowloon? I see another picture like in someone's backyard. I'm like, what is the Doghouse? So now I'm like really curious. I have no idea what. I find out you travel to different places. I'm thinking in my head, like I'm thinking of a team. They have a location. They play at that location. That's where you play. It's a crew. And now I'm getting into like, all right, so now they're playing these other guys called Wanted, or these other guys called so I'm just looking at all these pictures, and all of a sudden I say, you know what? I'm gonna go and find out what the Doghouse is about. So I walk in there, and now it's my second family. It's my family away from my family. So I walk into the VFW in Melrose. and I get introduced to, not introduced to Brendan, but I meet up with Brendan, and I get introduced to Rich Queen and a bunch of other guys that were there. Buddy Tommy Halloran, and then I fell in love. The guy, this is more than cornhole. Like, cornhole to me is not about just throwing bags into a hole anymore. It's about like just the kinship. It's a tribe. It's what we all need, a sense of belonging. So cornhole to me is just it's a great game, but it's way more than that.
And I really get that, being able to jump into to Donnie's Zoom chats with the rest of the Doghouse guys that join in, because you guys have just got, you guys throwing lingo for stuff, and it's just, you guys are just kind of all, it is that one big family. You guys kind of, you'll go at each other, and everything is just all fun.
Oh, it is. I have a question for you.
Yep.
When I'm looking at you, I'm not really looking at my camera, am I?
No. Well, no, you're good. No, you're good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Because this is all new to me. I'm looking at you when you're talking, but then I look at me and I'm like, I'm not looking at the camera, am I?
Yeah. No, you're all good. You're all good.
All right. Yeah, we are a family, man. We're there to help each other's charities. We do whatever, and not just the Doghouse, but that's I don't know. I think just the whole cornhole community, for the most part, is just some of the most just down to earth, grassroots, just awesome people. So cornhole people are, all in all, awesome people.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I know. And I find that here, just talking, you get any kind of like a community that needs something, or any kind of fundraiser. It's just, you guys are all over it.
Yep. Power numbers, right?
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
So, and then in talking to you before, I've kind of got to know you as a bit of we'll call you a bagsmith, as you're all over it with knowing everything, kind of almost all about every bag.
Yeah, I have. Ever since I was a little kid, I was a collector. So I used to collect, whether it was baseball cards or He-Man characters, and now it's beer cans and cornhole bags. So now I collect beer cans, cornhole bags, and poker chips. So because I am always kind of intrigued by the new bag and what comes out, I like to buy them. I try them. I throw them. And I know a little bit about bags. I do. I got to give myself that. I know a little bit about bags. I do enjoy the trying out the new bag. There's gonna be a good bag coming up. I'm gonna give a little plug to my boy Jake Childs. He has gave me a prototype the other day. Let me tell you, CornDoug, this bag is legit. It is a legit bag. Once he dials in the resin fill, oh man, look out, cookout. It's gonna be the next big thing.
Well, we'll have to get you some of the new octane bags that are coming out that are a little special. So with a little bit of a patch in the front.
All right. As a matter of fact, I'm a big fan of octane. I like the whole shot. I'd rather. So if I'm going to play a stick bag, because I have smaller hands, and the octane's a little bit of a smaller bag.
Yep.
I'm a fan of the whole shot. For if I'm going to play a block game on somebody, it's either that or a slide right, depending upon what my partner wants to throw. But we're playing doubles. But if I singles and I need to put a block game together, whole shot's a great bag.
Yeah, I know. I've found that some people think that they're just a little bit smaller of a company, but they're a bag that can hold up to any one of the other bags.
Oh yeah, I like the fact that they I think it's probably more a 5.75 bag than a 6-inch bag. They make a smaller bag, which I enjoy.
Yep, and the feel coming out of brand new ones, getting them is almost like they're almost like pre-broken in.
Yeah, I agree with that. They don't come in stiff at all.
So, with you knowing about bags, I've kind of seen some chatter along in some of the groups and some of the guys talking that they're thinking that the possible traditional stick and slick bag might be a thing of the past, and that everyone just needs to go with all the faster bags. Your any thoughts on that?
I thoroughly disagree, because what this whole COVID situation has shown is that people can slide the bag really well. Like, there are a lot of people that can go toe to toe with anybody right now, sliding for slide. But is that going to transition into gameplay when someone puts that stick block out in front of you? Because I think that the game, if you look at Hissner and Henderson, I mean, they put a good game together because they can know how to muck up the board. So I think the more that you muck up, so look at it as football. all of a sudden, right, when you take a look at football, everybody's going one way. The team that usually is going to be successful is a team that goes against the trends. So you get Bill Belichick, who is great at going against the trends of what everyone else is doing. He's thinking one step ahead. So with this whole slide bit, well, if you all of a sudden throw a block game on somebody, are they going to be able to airmail over? Are they going to be able to go around? You get it. I don't think you're going to be a one-trick pony and be successful in this game, no matter what level you're at. I mean, as you get into the pro level, their aerial percentage is just ridiculous. So you got to have almost every shot. But I don't think the slick bag is gone. And if it is, that's all the more reason a company should be making it. Go against what everyone else is doing.
I know for myself, playing in all these here new, just the deck rounds and the ghost cornhole, is I don't like that empty board. I need to have that. I need to put that blocker out. I need to have it. I like it better when it is mucked up, because then there's more of a challenge in it. You have more thinking game. You're not just slide in without any kind of impediment.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that I do, I'll throw my first one. So my little strategy for me, I'll lay it out there. If I have the lead, I'm honest, I'll throw that first one in and see what you do. And then if you're comfortable with your slide going in, then I'll throw I'll mix up the block. I don't always lead out with the block. It's not always my second bag block, but it's like almost like poker. I'll just change kind of my game based upon what you're doing on your end. So I think the block it's got to be there. You got to have it in your repertoire. I mean, Pro Advantage is a great bag for a block because it's easy to push through, but it's an easy block. It's an easy bag to put your block on the board. Now, the other person can push the bag through the Pro Advantage much easier than a slide right or a hole shot. But what I like about a Pro Advantage is that when I throw that block, I can pretty much put it where I want to put it. So, the block game has to be there. Come on. This game is too evolved. I wish it evolved even more. I wish it could do a bag change in the middle of a game. I wish you could call a timeout and switch up bags. I think the game needs to evolve one step further, because right now, if you watch on ESPN, it's kind of getting boring. Slide for slide. And you're like, oh, one off the back. So, oh, that person's going to get 3 points. It's just too predictable. It's when I watch ESPN, it's just a lot of it is very predictable. You can almost tell what's going to happen before it even happens. It's either going to be a 4 versus, a 12 versus a 10. They get 2. I want to see mucked up boards. I want to see a 6 versus a 12. I want to see people scoring big on people, or forcing people to throw an airmail on their third bag or even second bag if they're chasing points. So to me, ESPN, if they want to improve their ratings, they should be looking at more stick and less slide.
Well, I think that is that case of coming out of everyone just playing the deck around the ghost, because I don't think they're fully used to having that blocker there anymore. They got so used to having that open board, and I can just do this all the time. So that's what they're doing, right? And then
that's good for your first shot. That's good. That's good for training on your first shot.
Yeah.
But your last shot usually can be something in the way.
And then you could also even think that they could possibly be because there's not those extra people in the building to create that humidity to get those boards maybe a little stickier. That there's so many other variables that could come into it, right?
That's true. That's very true. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, because I remember when we played the Nationals in Connecticut, you go there in the morning and the boards are one thing, but then you got all those bodies coming in, and those boards change. And that's why you got to have multiple bags too, and know how to throw multiple different style shots, whether it's a floater or a line drive. I mean, one of the best tournaments, Doug, and I highly recommend everyone that you could do with an Octane. You could do an Octane hole shot tournament only. We did a slide right at the doghouse, and it was fun because it mucked things up. It made the game. It gave everyone the same. You could use a cheetah, or you could use a slide right, but it had to be a slide right kind of stick slick type of game. It was awesome. It really brought out some different people's games that you normally see one guy who's always slide. All of a sudden, you got a slide right in his hand. What's he going to do? So I don't know. To me, the game, it's about making it fun. And I think the slide all slide and the Vipers and everything that just goes in the hole, it's boring. It's a boring game.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think, and I was saying before, I like that playing chess rather than just playing checkers. It's something that's more. You got to think of what, maybe even think 2 moves ahead, 2 bags ahead.
Right.
Even though you're throwing your first bag, what am I setting up to do on my fourth bag?
Completely
Is what I
agree.
like.
Yep, I agree. Yep.
And
What
even
is your favorite bag?
I'm an Apex, Octane Apex. I was a slide right before, and I really like the way the Apex worked for me because I need that slick that sticky side, because my first bag is, I try to have it a blocking bag is what I want to do first, because then if you got that person who can only slide, well, if I put it correctly, they're just going to slide my bag in, and hey, that's better for me.
I have the Apex. I have to break that out again because that was one of my go-to bags at one point in time, and I liked how it got. If you flip it over, it can sneak into any hole. It's no different than a game changer, but with the ability to truly just block. You plop it, you can just put it, and it's going to stay exactly like Velcro.
Yeah, I like it because even when the boards do get humid, I can still flip it over to that slick side, and I've still got full control of the bag of the way that I like it. So
that
that's
bag will
kind of,
move in the rain.
and it's not a full bag. Like I have them. I have my new set right here. It's not a full bag. You've still got that floppiness. Like I have a set of slide rates that I got almost 3 years ago, and there's the one for them. I can't even break them in. Like they're just staying full, and they won't become floppy or soft at all.
Yeah, the Apex reminds me almost a tiny bit fuller of a Viper, but it gets that floppiness like a Viper.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's really fun, and it's you know what, it's some people get upset with all these different brands, like there's so much to choose from, but I think that's what almost makes the game better, is because not everyone's playing that same bag. There's you can get that bag to just kind of almost the way you want it.
Yeah, I agree. I wish there was a possibly, again, this would be a fun tournament. I don't think it'll ever go to ACL. They'll ever do it, but you can use, like, as long as it's the same color, I could use a slide right. I could have a Viper, almost like golf. You have your wedge, you have your driver. So if I want to open up block, I can open up block. If I don't want to block, I can, go with my Viper as my opening. So it would be cool to be able to have 4 different bags even.
Yep.
In your repertoire.
Exactly. Yeah. And the other thing with bags that gets me is you see it a lot in these groups where people are saying you have to only throw this type of bag. This is the best type of bag, and it's like, for people that are starting out, and it's like, no, you've got to be like Goldilocks, and you've got to try everything, right?
You do.
And till you get, because you're going to find that one that fits you perfect.
Yep, there you go. Perfect in certain conditions.
Yeah.
I think you have to have, if I go to a tournament, I have, like, people know, like, I'm like a hobo. Like I have like a suitcase that rolls.
Yeah.
Because I like to bring a cabinet. If I'm going to get a blind, if we do a blind draw tournament, like, I will let my partner, I usually have whatever bag they play. They get to pick the bag, but I want to play my bag of that bag.
Yeah.
Do you follow that? Like, so, like, I'll have a Viper in there. I'll have Widows in there. I'll have kill shots. Like, that, by the way, that RPG, or I should say the material, whether it's the RPG, the AR, or the 357, it's called the Player's Fabric. Man, that is a phenomenal bag. I mean, not bag, but fabric. You can put any slick side on that. I don't know. I don't want to call it a stick side because it's a fun. Have you ever played a kill shot?
I haven't had a chance to. No, there's no one around here that has any for us to play. So I haven't really had the chance.
Oh, when you get it, it's a funny way about it. Like, it just slips in for a stick side, but you can also throw a block with it. It's controllable. And RPG is my favorite. The reason I like the RPG is that if it gets humid, you can flip it over, and it mimics almost the same as the stick side. I'm a stick side. I throw low and hard at the board. I'm an aggressive thrower. So I usually always throw stick side or whatever bag I throw. But if it gets humid and the bag's not moving with the RPG, you can flip it over and throw it like your normal throw, and it's going to move the same. But again, my throw is different than ever. So that's what another thing I want to say. No bag is better than the other bag. Can we get that off? Can we just let everyone understand?
Yeah,
no
exactly.
bag is better than another bag.
Yeah,
it's what you feel comfortable with. It's how you throw. It's, so I don't like how people put a certain prestige and say that, oh, that bag's junk.
no.
It could be a $5 bottle of wine. If it tastes good and you like the way it tastes, it could be better than a $100 bottle of wine to you, right?
Exactly. It's, and then you get that whole different price, the separation in price in some bags. Where some bags, like, it's $150 for 4, and then you get like the Octane bags where it's like $90 for 8.
Right. So that I think goes back to simple supply demand.
Yeah.
But I don't know why people all jump over on a bag because it's good for one person. Or people, just because it's a old school duck cloth and corn, if that's the bag that goes in the hole for you, that's the bag you should play. As long as
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But I don't think anybody should be playing with duck and corn. But nowadays, the technology's a little better.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm also hearing that you've kind of got a little bit of Frank modeling in you with being a teacher and getting the kids playing cornhole at school.
So as a teacher, a PE teacher for that matter, so I play for a living. That's what I don't even just get to play. I get to choose what we play and dictate the rules. And I will tell you right now, this is the best game. This is the best game because it brings out a little bit of math for the kids in the morning. Gets their mind, it brings out a little, a healthy level of competition in terms of but also they don't my students have created games. So this game as a PE teacher is the absolute best game. You can play it by yourself. You can play with 2 people. You can play with 3 people. You can play with 4. You can play with 8. So there's no excuses not to play. That's what I like about it. So what I started at my school, so I just had a set of boards just for myself to practice indoors. And as a PE teacher, you don't really get a good budget. $500 is what, 500 to 1,000 depending upon the school year. What you get for a budget. I know how much boards are. So I bought these boards on Amazon to start a curriculum, a PE curriculum, because my students saw me throwing and like, oh, what's that game? And so I explained it to them, and a couple of them kind of gravitated towards it. And one student was injured, and so he couldn't do the game that we were doing because he was injured. But I put him on a chair, and I had him just throw bags onto the board back in the day. So he just throw bags into a board. And needless to say, I didn't like the bags that came with the board, and I have a ton of bags, as we just talked about. So I have a ton of bags. So I got my bags in with these Amazon boards. What do you think happened on those boards? Crumbled one after another. So I'm like, oh man. So I get this curriculum off the ground, and all of a sudden, all my boards are breaking. So I said, you know what? I'm going to buy boards. So I just said, you know what? I'm buying boards. I'm going to buy boards. I'm going to see what comes of it. So I went to a local guy. A little shout out to my boy Nazi, Custom Cornhole Company. And I said, Nazi, I need 6 sets of boards, right? And he's like, sure, what do you want them? Gave him the logo. Went ahead, gave $200 a pop. I got 6 sets. And I brought them to school. And the kids were they're like, wow. The kid had the dog on it, the doghouse dog on it. They were all like, what's doghouse? They're all asking, what's doghouse? I said, we're going to find out what doghouse is about. So I started a before school program. These kids come, I had parents write letters saying, you have no idea. It was so difficult to get my son to come to school in the morning because, both parents have to work. They have to get their kids off to school. It's a before school program. And they're like, now my son is dressed and ready to go and wants to get to early because he knows you're setting up, and as soon as they get to school, they can have their snack and play. Yep. So I have parents like that were just elated to have this program running because now their kids are dragging them out the house to come play, and they can't wait to play. So I started a before school program, and that worked. I'm like, what do you guys want to do it after school too? So I have Monday through Friday a before school program, and then Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday after school program. And the only reason I don't have it on a Wednesday and Friday is because it's a half day on a Wednesday, and Friday I get out early. So at the end of the day, I would be doing every day in the morning and every day at the end of the day. So to me, cornhole brings people together.
Yeah.
It gives my students a sense of like accomplishment, and like anybody can win if that's the truth. Like I have students who are on the spectrum who are playing this game against their peers, same line, so we get same distance, same amount of bags, and they're outscoring them. Mm-hmm. They would not be able to do that in flag football. They wouldn't be able to do that in soccer. But this game allows kids to have a platform to be equal. And to me, of all things that cornhole can bring out, and I love my boys at the doghouse, to me, that is the most beautiful thing about this game, is that a child on the spectrum can look at his peer and compete with him.
Yeah.
Or so I brought it into my one elementary school. There are 4 others that I want to pilot like a little before and after school program, and the other ones, as you know, once I get my next 6 set of boards, I'll donate these 6 sets to another school, and then slowly just kind of build onto it, because I think that there's no reason that this isn't a high school sport in Massachusetts. It should be.
Oh, and I've even thought about doing that same thing that you do here with my son's school, because it's like you said, it is that game where you teach the kids, they're going to bring it home to their parents, and then it's a game the whole family can play, and for me, it's a game that I can get my son to come out and play with me, and he's not on the PS4 playing a stupid game. We're actually out getting exercise, doing something, and it's not just kids and parents, it's kids and grandparents, right? It'll get that whole family thing together, bringing that whole cornhole back into family.
I agree. Unfortunately, on my end, my brother-in-law, who I started playing with, and my nephew, who I started playing with, and I'm like, I'm pretty good at this. I want to see it. Now they won't play with me because they don't like playing with me anymore. So I play against the Ghost when I'm up in Maine.
Yeah, I know. The other fathers and some of the parents on my son's hockey team would always bug me about cornhole. Like, oh, you're playing cornhole, playing cornhole. So this year we had a fundraiser for our team, and had some of the fathers came out, but then had all the kids come out, and they kind of did their separate little, just kind of playing. So it's all 10-year-olds playing cornhole. Well, now all the fathers are laughing because the kids will go to hockey practice. We're like, when can we play cornhole again? We want to play cornhole again. I'm like, just get out on the ice. Don't worry about cornhole right now. But that's all they want to do. And it's that game where, like you said, no matter where they're at, they can all play together. And some of those kids that maybe aren't good at one sport or can't do it as well as some of the other kids, they're on that level playing field and can even be better than some of the other kids.
Absolutely. And so I know hockey, you travel tons of play, right? So we were up in Maine, and I had traveling my nephew and my brother-in-law and my father and everything else, right? And my nephew was in this room playing the video games. So I went down to the lobby. I said, listen, my nephew is all he does is play video games. But I know if I could get cornhole set up here in the lobby, he'd come down and play. Do you care if I set up cornhole in the lobby? They're like, sure. But if anybody else wants to play, you got to let them play. I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Before you know, we have people lined up coming in, like out from, they were out at dinner, like walking the strip and out at dinner, come in, they see corn. I'm like, can we get next game? I'm like, yep, you get next game. So what I love about it is the game is growing. Yeah. People love this game. And so you can travel. It's not the most convenient game to travel with, but if you're driving and I have a pickup truck, you can bring it wherever you want. I mean, I wish it was a little bit more convenient to travel with. That's the only flaw of this game. The boards are pretty bulky. And now that we're into Cornhole, I can't play on anything other than wooden 3/4 inch, Baltic birch. Nice. I'm a Cornhole snob now, I guess.
I know. I got my mini boards here from our board maker here. He had these here too, just sitting around. He's like, take them. So that's my traveling boards when we go into tournaments now. It's like we can set them up anywhere. I got some mini bags. The hole's big enough that an actual bag you can use on them, because they're really just regular boards, all the same wood he uses for his regular boards, but they're just a little smaller in size. So I can take them anywhere. I can bring my big boards if it's a spring tournament, and adults will play on the big boards, kids will play on these ones, and you're just having fun.
Yeah, I have to get a set of the mini boards. I like that.
Well, maybe if we can get Donnie and Brendan up here, you can come up with them, and we can hook you up with a set here.
I'd love to take a road trip. I'd be all about it.
Yeah. So we're up on the half hour here. I want to thank you for joining me. And because, like I said, we talked so many times with the Zoom chat, I wanted to get you on here, talk to you on here, kind of rack your brain with some of your questions and that, because I know some of the viewers here are new and they like learning about bags and what to do with bags. So I think we'll have to have you on again in the near future.
Absolutely, love to come back on, CornDoug. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate it.
So everyone here, just remember to give a like and a share, and if you like the show, hit the subscribe as well too, because all subscribers can do great. As I said in the down below, you can hook up the Patreon page. Just kind of help get some more stuff going with the show. It's not big, and like I said, I need Sarah McLaughlin when I'm talking about this here, because you can do for like $1 a month is for the lowest, or $5 a month, whatever you want to do. You can just help out in any way you can. But yeah, so Pat, I want to thank you for coming on, and for everyone else, the light at the end of the tunnel is almost here. I know they're playing down in Mass, but we're going to get it up here soon. And so just keep throwing those virtual bags or regular bags if you can. And see you next week.
Safe.
Yeah,
Stay
exactly.
Safe,
Stay safe.
Be good, buddy.
Okay.
Cheers.
Thanks.